Hey guys, welcome back to Bows Fan TV. And today we're back with the first match preview of the season away to Cork. Um, Looking forward to it. Should be a decent game. Obviously Cork are newly promoted. Um, out of the Premier Division for a couple of years now. They'll be looking to kick on under new owners, and they'll see this as a good opportunity as well. You know, a big club coming to Turner's Cross. And they'll be looking um for a win, obviously, and it's up to us, I suppose, to quaff Declan Devine to go over there and spoil the party. Because we'll be looking for a strong start ourselves. Obviously, a lot of incomings over the course of the off season. It was a bit of a kind of strange off season, obviously with the World Cup being on, and I think we kind of have to wait a little longer for players to come in. Obviously, I think we've made some good signings, particularly in the attacking areas. You know, back in Tunde, Dylan Conley, Dane Williams. We'll add a lot to the team. Hopefully, obviously with Afolabi coming back from injury as well, that could almost be a new signing in itself. Um, and looking into you go into the midfield, then we obviously brought in Adam McDonald from Sligo. We brought Bucko back as well. So, that gives us options as well. We haven't lost anyone huge either in that area. We've kept all the Flores and James Clark, and we've got McManus coming through. So the midfield's looking quite strong. It's just the defence, I think, that's a little bit light. Um, Obviously, we brought in Paddy Kirk. He's come back from Sligo. We brought in the Polish centre half. We brought in Jay Ben from Lincoln on loan. Just before we started the video, actually, we brought in Drew Baker on loan from Fleetwood. Um, I looked him up just before we started the video, just so obviously I'd never heard of him. But obviously, I think he played about 8 times for Fleetwood this season in League One, which is not bad. Obviously, they must see something in him if they're playing him. Um, so hopefully he'll come in and make a difference. I've read as well he can play centre back and right back, so it's good to have a bit of versatility as well. Obviously the centre half position is looking light, but I think that we've got four centre halves now anyway. I think we've got Radkowski in on loan. We've got Grant Horton in on loan. We've got Baker now in on loan, and we've young Kane Byrne as well. So that it's getting a bit better now. I think we probably will need one more just for that bit of depth in case someone gets injured or even recalled. Because that can happen. That has happened in the past where we've signed players on loan and they've been recalled by their clubs like Cassidy and Packham. Because they weren't really playing too much. Um, but hopefully these will get a game now and they can make a difference. As for Cork, obviously, like I said, they're just coming back into the Premier Division now. They've been out for a couple of years. They've had a lot of kind of turmoil on and off the pitch. With obviously Dermot Usher's come in as the new owner. That'll give them a sort of it'll galvanise them a bit, I suppose. The players and the fans, we've seen obviously it's a bit of a kind of it's obviously at different levels, but you're seeing now with Newcastle in the Premier League, they've got new owners now. They bring in better players, and now look where they are. They're in the top four in the Premier League, and maybe Cork will look to do something similar. I think their recruitment has been a big sort of we don't know a lot about the players. Obviously, we know about Ethan Berry and they signed him on loan from us. And I think like I said in the predictions video yesterday, he is a decent striker. He showed a little bit of promise for us last season when we brought him in. He was at Stoke. And yeah, I suppose he is a decent target man. He did score a couple of goals for us towards the end of last season, but hopefully he's gone down back to Cork. He's from there, and he'll know the city. He can settle in and do well for them, and hopefully then he'll come back then and for us next season and be a better player. Um, they signed Labi as well, who didn't really get going at Pats, but we saw when he was at Finn Harps how good of a player he can be. I think that's a decent sign. They brought a few lads in on loan abroad, likes of Kresic. You know, we don't really know an awful lot about these players. That they're coming in now, and I believe he's a striker. So hopefully for Cork anyway, he can come in and score a few goals. Also signed Kustovic as well. I think he's Swedish. So look, it remains to be seen as to whether or not these players will do anything in the league. They've signed a goalkeeper as well, Alawami, I think, on loan from Celtic. He'll probably fill the void of Harrington, who went to Fleetwood. Um, yeah, so they've done a couple of few, decent bits of business, and I think you got a decent manager in Healy. He knows the club very well, and he's done well to win them the league as well last season. So I think this is the season Cork will be looking to kick on now. It might be a bit of a transition period. I think they'll probably be happy enough to kind of finish maybe seventh, eighth, as long as they can avoid relegation. I think that'll be a plus for them. Um, as for us, I suppose it's more about improving on last season's disappointing year. Obviously, it was difficult on and off the pitch. But hopefully now Devine has got the right players in the door, and we can kick on now and try and compete for Europe. I suppose that's a goal. I'm sure that Devine and the players will have earmarked ahead of this season is to try and get back into Europe. Obviously, it'll be tight with Pats and Dundalk, and I'm sure maybe even Shells or Sligo might push. Um, but hopefully we've got the players now in the attacking options where we can outscore teams. I think last season we struggled to score goals. We lacked a goal scorer, especially after Promise went to Fleetwood in the summer. Um, I think the defence is slowly but surely starting to build itself back up again. With bringing Baker in there in the last few minutes, we obviously brought Horton back on loan, because Ratzkowski as well. These are good players with decent pedigrees over abroad, and hopefully they can take to the league like a duck to water, like we have done in the past with these sort of players we brought in from abroad. More on the game, I expect it to be tight. I think it's going to be a tight one. Cork will be really up for this one. Their fans, they're going to make turners cross the parapet. It's up to us to go there and like I said at the start of the video, spoil the party. Just do what we do best. Try and attack them. I think that's something that we didn't do enough of last year. We, I know we didn't really have the players, but look, I think we have to go there and start to lose this narrative that it's a tough place to go to, and we're going to have to sit back and we're going to have to hit them on the counter. I think we have the players now where we can go there and win the game convincingly. Obviously, it'll be tough, but um, we've got options in attack now with Connolly. You know, Williams, Akintunde, on the bench even. We could have players like Q, McDade, O'Sullivan. I know the jury's out a little bit on for some on O'Sullivan and McDade, but there's still options, that we can bring on off the bench. Afalabi as well, if I don't know whether he'll start tomorrow. We'll get into my predicted lineup shortly anyway. But we have the options now to go and attack teams. Obviously it's the defense that's concerning, but obviously it, it's building itself up slowly but surely. On to my predicted lineup anyway. I'm gonna go with Talbot in goal. It's obviously good to have him back. We missed him, I think, for large parts of the season. He broke his shoulder, I think it was, or his collarbone. I'm not quite sure which one. But uh, Tyger Ryan and McCracken are kind of had debutantes, and they didn't really make much of an impact. But hopefully now with James back, he'll be the number one. He'll be back to his best. Um, Right back's an interesting one. Obviously, he might go with this new lad, Drew Baker. He can play centre half and right back from what I was reading. But I'm going to go with Twardick at right back. I know some people might look at that and think, well, why are you putting him right back when he's more of a right winger? But for shortened options there, don't know about Jay Ben. Obviously, he went off injured in the Wexford friendly there last week with a clash of heads, I think. But obviously, we don't really know how serious they are. He could be all right, but I think it'll be Twardick at right back. He Devine sort of trialed that in pre-season. He has played a few games at right back. Um, so look, he mightn't have the best defensive ability, Twardick, but he can't bomb up and down the pitch, and I think that's probably why Devine will put him at right back tomorrow. Two centre halves. I'm going with Radkowski and Kane Byrne. Obviously, I don't know how he's going to do with this new fella. He might start, but I think for now, he's probably going to go with Bradkowski and Kane Burren. He might go with Horton, but I've heard sort of doubts about whether he'll be fit or not. So I'll just play it safe and go with Burren and Radkowski. Obviously Kane Burren is a big season for him. He's coming through. Um, he showed signs of, he can be a decent defender. This will be a big year for him. I think he'll get more minutes than Radkowski. We don't know what he's like. Obviously, he's played over in Poland in the youth level, and he must have something about him if he's playing at that level. So hopefully he'll come in and make an impact. Left back, I'm going to go with Paddy Kirk. Obviously, there's no one really there to kind of challenge him. Ryan Burke went to Waterford there yesterday. Um, you could have Flores there, I suppose, at left back, but I think Kirk right now is probably our only out and out left back, and but obviously I'm looking forward to seeing him back. I thought he was very good for us when he was here the first time, and it was disappointing to see him go. But at the time we had Wilson and we had Breslin, and there was no real kind of room for him. But he done really well as Sligo, and I'm delighted to have him back, and as I'm sure all the most of the fans are. Into the midfield now. I think he'll go with a 4-3-3. So I'm gonna go with three in midfield. I'm gonna go with Bucko. Obviously, it's massive to have him back. He'll install a bit of leadership, a bit of maybe not discipline, but he'll get the lads going in tough games where we didn't maybe have that leader in some sort of tough games last year. Alongside him, I've gone with McDonald and James Clark. Adam McDonald, I think he's a decent not defender, midfielder. He's a decent midfielder. Sligo fans got mixed feelings about, but I think he's a tidy player on the ball from what I've seen him play when he's played against us from what I've seen, and I think he'll be alongside James Clark as well. He showed real signs of what he could do last year, and he's been a fantastic sign since he's come in from Drogheda in the summer. And I think this is a big season for him as he's got the chance now to kick on and really show what he can do in a full season with us. Onto the front three, I'm gonna go with Conley on the right because there's obviously there's options, but I'm not sure, with Twarder playing right back, who else would he go for? I think Conley will start. Obviously he's been playing in England now for a couple of years, and when he was in the league before with Dundalk, he showed signs of what he could do. We obviously got him out to Wimbledon then, and it didn't really work out. He'll be coming back to the league now, and thinking, this is where I can build my career back up again and do well for balls. Obviously, I think he's probably approaching late 20s, but it's another option. I suppose he's quick. He's got good pace. He's got a good cross on him. From what I've seen in highlights, so hopefully he'll make a bit of an impact this season. Left wing, I've gone with Akintunde. Yeah, I don't think he's much of a goal scorer. He's probably more of a kind of player that'll hold up the ball. He has played on the left a good few times for Derry. Um, you know, s- Obviously he's a bit of a kind of not a far cry of what we had with Liam Burke, but he's not a player that's maybe going to get on the ball and dribble. Obviously, I haven't really seen a huge ton of him. Obviously, saw little bits of him when he was at Derry playing against us. Obviously, seemed to score against us, but hopefully he'll start scoring goals for us now. And yeah, there's obviously not a huge plethora of kind of quality maybe on that kind of left wing. Obviously, we've got McDade there, but as I said, it's kind of mixed feelings about him. But he's a decent goal scorer. He's pacey. He'll hold up the ball, and yeah, hopefully he can do something for us. Up front, I've gone with Dean Williams. Done well in pre-season. Done really well. Scored a few goals for us. Obviously, I think a lot of them are penalties, but so you're still getting goals. You're still taking penalties, and you're still scoring goals. Um, and yeah, obviously, a few people might think, well, maybe are we better off putting Afolabi or Akintunde up front and maybe starting someone else on the left, but um, I think he might go with Williams. Just because obviously when he was at Drogheda, he didn't score loads of goals, but he'd pop up at important moments. He scored goals for them in loud derbies and against Rovers and against Bows and in big games where he needed wins and he needed points. He popped up with goals, and I think that's something that's going to be important this year. He will get goals, we feel, and obviously there's other options. There's Afolabi, there's Akintunde, there's John O'Sullivan, McDade, Tuareg, there's there's good options there. So hopefully, we can go up to Cork tomorrow and attack them. Have a good go and see what that gets us. Prediction. I'm gonna go for a 1-0 win to Bows. I'd love to go more, obviously, but I think with the crowd at Cork and everything, it's gonna be a big one for them. They're gonna be well up for it. Um, and just fingers crossed. Anyway, we can start off positively because then if you look at the fixtures after that, we've got Dundalk at home, then we're away to Shells. Gradually then you can pick up points, and then as you sort of head towards March, April, you sort of know where you are. Where you are is normally where you're gonna finish, and hopefully we can start the season positively and push for Europe. Um, because that's something that we really need to do this season. We can't be having mid-table finishes. I know we put us fifth in my table predictions, but hopefully anyway, with the attacking options we've got now, the defense is starting to kind of get a bit better. We're starting to add options now, so hopefully we'll kick on this season and it can be a positive 2023. Hopefully a lot better than 2022 anyway. So that's where I'll end it. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment down below what you're thinking heading into this game, your score predictions, anything you're thinking heading into this season, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.